Welcome to the Rare History Channel. The Unveiled Story of Chester A. Arthur, 12 Surprising and Rare Facts. Chester A. Arthur, the 21st President of the United States, has long been considered an obscure figure in American history. However, delving deeper into his life uncovers a treasure trove of surprising and rarely known facts. This video unearths 12 such astonishing insights into Arthur's life and presidency. Fact number 1. The birthplace controversy, a borderline debate. During Arthur's vice presidential campaign in 1880, his political opponents attempted to stoke a scandal by alleging that he was born in Canada, not Fairfield, Vermont, as he claimed. The U.S. Constitution specifies that only a natural-born citizen can hold the presidency, so if this claim were true, it would have disqualified him from even running for office. The controversy drew significant public attention, and Arthur's opponents went to great lengths to find proof, even allegedly sending investigators to comb through Canadian church records and interview locals. However, no definitive evidence could ever be unearthed to back up the allegations, and Arthur's U.S. citizenship remained uncontested. Number 2. The Unexpected President, from Vice to Chief. Chester A. Arthur's ascension to the presidency came as a major shock to the nation. Before his vice presidency, Arthur had never held an elected office. His highest position was as the appointed collector of the Port of New York. However, when President James Garfield was assassinated in 1881, Arthur, as vice president, had to step in. His unanticipated rise from a somewhat obscure public servant to the President of the United States marked a significant and surprising moment in American political history. Number 3. The New York Customs House Scandal, from collector to castaway. Prior to his political career, Chester A. Arthur served as the collector of the Port of New York from 1871 to 1878. The role, responsible for collecting customs duties, was quite lucrative and influential, putting him at the center of the country's most important shipping hub. However, Arthur was ousted from this position by President Rutherford B. Hayes over allegations of corruption, including accusations that he took a percentage of the customs fees as his salary and appointed political allies to high-paying jobs. Despite never being formally charged or convicted, the scandal followed Arthur into his presidency, casting a shadow over his political legacy. Number 4. Widower in the White House, a personal tragedy. Chester A. Arthur faced personal tragedy just a year before assuming the presidency. His wife, Ellen Lewis Herndon Arthur, died suddenly from pneumonia in January 1880, leaving Arthur and their 2 children heartbroken. As a result, he entered the White House as a widower. During his presidency, he honored her memory in various ways, such as not removing her belongings from their bedroom. This personal sorrow had a profound impact on Arthur, a fact that deeply humanizes this oft-overlooked president. Number 5. The Unexpected Civil Rights Advocate, a visionary stance. Despite his conservative image, Chester A. Arthur surprisingly held progressive views on civil rights, particularly for Black Americans. In 1881, Arthur used his first annual message to Congress to advocate for an education bill that would levy federal taxes to fund schools across the nation, with the intention of helping Black Americans in the South. Moreover, he vetoed the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, which sought to halt Chinese immigration to the U.S. for 10 years. Despite his veto, Congress passed the act with a 2/3 majority. These actions stand in contrast to his traditionalist image, demonstrating a commitment to civil rights that was unusually forward-thinking for his era. Number 6. A fashion-forward president, sartorial sensibilities. Known for his elegant dress and impeccable style, Chester A. Arthur was often referred to as Elegant Arthur. He owned over 80 pairs of pants, a fact that underlines his deep interest in fashion, a surprising characteristic for a president in the late 19th century. His wardrobe, reportedly changed several times a day, was filled with custom-made garments from the finest tailors. Arthur's sartorial sophistication contributed to his public image, setting him apart from his more plainly dressed contemporaries. Number 7. The White House renovation, a presidential makeover. Upon assuming the presidency, Chester A. Arthur made the decision to have the White House extensively renovated, a decision that set a precedent in the history of presidential mansions. He enlisted Louis Comfort Tiffany, one of the leading American designers of the time, to redecorate the White House interiors. This extensive renovation led to a significant stylistic shift, resulting in a more modern and artistic aesthetic that reflected the era's changing tastes. It also symbolized Arthur's refined and opulent tastes, seen in his personal style. Number 8. Presidential health mystery, a hidden affliction. Chester A. Arthur suffered from a kidney disease known as Bright's disease, a fact he successfully kept hidden from the public during his presidency. This chronic condition, which caused progressive kidney damage, greatly affected his health during his term. Despite the debilitating effects of his illness, Arthur continued to execute his duties as president, demonstrating his commitment to public service. However, his health progressively declined, and less than 2 years after leaving office, Arthur passed away. His struggle with Bright's disease remained a closely guarded secret until after his death. Number 9. Refused a nomination, a rare presidential decision. In a move that defied tradition and expectation, Chester A. Arthur chose not to run for a second term in the 1884 presidential election despite being eligible for nomination. This rare decision was likely influenced by his rapidly deteriorating health due to Bright's disease, as well as the political discord within the Republican Party. Arthur's decision to prioritize his health over political ambition, an unusual occurrence in the cutthroat world of politics, underscores his private struggle with his illness and the real-world impact of internal political strife. Number 10. A midnight swearing-in, the late-night oath. In a notable deviation from custom, Arthur was sworn in as president at an unusually late hour, around 2 a.m. on September 20, 1881, following President Garfield's death. The late-night swearing-in ceremony, conducted in his Lexington Avenue home in New York, was an unprecedented event, steeped in urgency and solemnity. This circumstance highlighted the immediate need for continuity in leadership after a president's demise and stands as an exceptional event in presidential history. Number 11. The mysterious sister, an enigmatic First Lady. During Arthur's presidency, his sister, Mary Arthur McElroy, stepped into the role of White House hostess due to the president's widowed status. Although Mary played a pivotal role in the administration's social functions, she remains a relatively mysterious figure in history. Shunning public attention, she left few records of her personal life or her time in the White House. This lack of information adds an air of mystery to her tenure as the de facto First Lady and highlights the often overlooked but crucial role family members play in a presidency. Number 12. A secret presidential act, a legacy in ashes. Shortly before his death in 1886, Arthur shocked many by burning most of his personal and official papers. This surprising act has left a significant gap in our understanding of his life and presidency. His reasons for doing so remain speculative, whether it was to maintain privacy, obscure controversial actions, or simply clear out unwanted clutter. The mass destruction of these documents has prompted much speculation and research by historians, forever shrouding many aspects of Arthur's life and tenure in mystery.